And we started. We got
Right now?
no, we got 10 seconds left.
Oh, this is good.
Sorry, I just like to move fast on
And welcome back to the Nub. I'm the Merce,
Hey, it's Felton.
and we are Sans Triple B again this time. He's uh, the bald bearded bard is going through some stuff, moving around, and everything like that at home. So he's there's a lot of going. There's a lot on his plate, just like there's a lot on our plate. So
He's just a fast living modern gentleman,
exactly. I really wish he was on this one because I wanted to talk to him about this. But while we're back to the Dragon Con again, while we're at Dragon Con, I actually met another one of the Mad Cave writers there. Name is Jay Sandlin,
Okay.
and the book that he's writing is called Over the Rope, and it's a wrestling book, right? It's a turn of the century wrestling book. And for me, I do not know anything about wrestling anymore, right? I've been out of the whole wrestling loop for forever. So for me, a wrestling comic book, I was like, no, I'm good. Like I was not interested at all. Well, they started releasing some of the panels and the pages for this book, and oh my God, I am in. Like I want to see this book so bad. Like it's, imagine if you had like the modern day flair of wrestlers, right? But in the turn of the century. So you've got these like gentleman wrestlers with, I mean, basically like leather pants on, like old leather pants and stuff, but but like some of them wear like one of those like domino masks or something, like, or they'll just kind of put some paint on their face. Well, not very many of them. Most of them just look like just big beefy burly guys with like bald heads and giant beards. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to read this book. Like it looks fantastic. So I actually got to meet the guy, and when we met at this little restaurant. It's like a Braves themed restaurant. The sporting team Braves,
Yeah.
the Atlanta Braves. And he was at the bar. And while he was at the bar, he was actually talking to a pretty well-known comic book writer who, at the time, I didn't realize who it was, and I felt really bad. But he was actually up there talking to Paul Jenkins. He does a lot of work for Dynamite now, but he's written on Hellblazer and a few other just really good comic books in the past. And they were up there BSing. He's like, "Oh yeah, this is Paul Jenkins." I was like, "Oh hey, how's it going?" Shook his hand, blah blah, no big deal. Just we're all up there BSing for a little bit, and then I go sit back down. I was like, "Wait, Paul Jenkins? Like the comic book writer Paul Jenkins? Like Hellblazer Paul Jenkins?" So of course I had to go back up there and talk to him a little bit more.
Like, hold
But
on, hold
later,
on, hold on. I didn't realize you were Paul Jenkins when you said your name was Paul Jenkins.
yeah, like I was just like, "Oh, it's just Paul Jenkins. It's not the Paul Jenkins." So looking like a complete idiot. Later on, we're in the vendor hall, which is four full stories. It's not one story; it's four full stories of
It's massive.
shops, and it's crazy. But the topmost story was like all the comic book writers and artists and all that kind of stuff. So he was at his booth there, and I walked up and I was just like, I just need to apologize because I was so casual when I was talking to you last night, but I'm actually a big fan. I wanted to, talk to you a little bit about your work. He's like, oh, no problem. Of course he's British, so he's got the cool accent. He's like, oh, no problem, mate. He's like, I get that all the time. People don't know what the comic book writers look like, and it's perfectly fine. And he's just
Wait a
going
minute,
on and
wait a
on.
minute, wait a minute, wait a minute.
Hmm.
Is this guy really Billy Butcher?
Yeah, he is. He's just like, you're a fucking cunt, mate. I'm just kidding. He just looked me right in the eyes. He's just like, you're a fucking cunt, and I'm a diabolical writer. I was like, oh okay,
Well,
all right,
I'll
cool.
agree with that. Sure.
And he's like, fuck soups. I was like, okay. And I'm just like, can we just address the fact that you killed a baby? No, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Wait, he didn't kill a baby in the show, did he?
Billy Butcher. Billy
Yeah.
Butcher. You saw the last episode, right?
Oh no, I haven't seen the last episode.
Spoilers.
Oh God.
Oh, okay. Well then, never mind.
My bad.
I mean, it's still up in the air as to whether he actually killed a baby or not, but
Oh.
it kind of looks like he killed a baby.
Well, he is a rat
So-
bastard, so I mean, sure, why not?
Yeah. But anyways, a little bit of board gaming, not news, just a funny little thing. So while we're at the con too, I saw they did a reprint of one of my favorite games called Camel Up, and this reprint finally it finally basically stops the argument as to whether the game is called Camel Up or Camel Cup. For a long time, people have thought that it could be Camel Up or Camel Cup, and the reason for that is because the way that it was written, there's a giant C, right? But
Mm-hmm.
the rest of Camel, the AMEL, is right over top of UP, so it looks like they're kind of sharing the C, which would make people maybe think that it was Camel Cup, right? But
Okay.
on the new box, they've obviously fixed that, so there's no more discussion about it. There's a distinct separation between the camel and the up. It is not Camel Cup. So that argument is dead, buried. Y'all need to stop
Oh,
arguing about it. Let's move back to our arguments about religion, politics in the Middle East, okay?
at least
Get
at least 3 times a week. That keeps me
hmm
awake at night, and now I just
Well, now you can sleep like a baby. I've just fixed one of the life crises for you.
my life it just oh
One of
man.
one of life's great mysteries has been solved. It is actually Camel Up. So put to rest, guys. Stop fighting. Again, speaking of board games, so obviously, unfortunately, you were not able to come to Dragon Con with us this year, so we spent some
It's,
time with your brother-in-law.
mm-hmm.
And he was talking about how he would really like to get your niece and nephew into playing tabletop RPG games,
Yeah.
like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. They've expressed interest in it, but they're still relatively young. So he was worried about their being able to really play the games and really get into it. And I was telling him that, I mean, my collection. I was like, basically, they can come to that. Like, you guys can come to the house, and I can start them off with some dungeon crawlers to try to teach them the mechanics of like moving around in one of those games and combat and stuff like that. And then I have other games that strictly focus on role playing aspects where you pretend to be a character. It has nothing to do with any board or moving around or anything like that, and you're trying to convince people of this, that, the other thing. So I was
Well,
like,
hold
we
on.
teach them.
Well, hold
Go ahead.
on a second though. I mean, is this like, just gonna be for kids, or can say like anybody
You?
show up? And I'm just saying like anybody show up to learn, because they might not be that smart, and yeah.
I mean, if their uncle wanted to, let's say stop by and maybe help them in this quest to become, regular RPG tabletop gamers, then of course there will be a seat at the table for him, as always.
I mean,
Even if I do have to explain the same rules to him 18 times every time his turn comes up, we'll still make it work.
to be fair, a lot of those play sessions I was going on 24 hours being awake, so I just gotta.
No, you can't use that excuse because you know my work schedule. You know my life. Every day I'm going on 2 hours of sleep. I don't want to hear that. That
All
doesn't work.
right, I guess I can't hide
But
it.
hey, you know what? No matter what, you'll always have a place at my table. You
If
know?
if anything, I'm just always somebody that is easy to beat. So
Well, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Like your whole half orc character or half human character,
yeah,
pardon
he's
me.
half human. Yeah.
Uh, that whole thing that we did with D&D with that character just makes me love you that much more, and I will put up with any you know um, rehashing of the rules that I have to do with you just to get moments like that.
Some people might say that he's all human.
No, nobody says that.
Oh.
Anyways, so yeah, that's just some fun little things. I- It's hard to talk about Dragon Con because it had its moments that were absolutely phenomenal. And then it had a lot of downs, and a lot of the downs were, I mean, I'll be perfectly honest, a lot of the downs were because you and your fiance couldn't be there.
Yeah.
Losing your brother-in-law early on, that really brought things down. I mean, you know that D and I can do a con by ourselves the whole time and
Oh,
be
sure.
perfectly happy, but it's like we had these plans. We all had these plans to do stuff together. And
Mm.
it was it really it sucked. It sucked for us a little bit, but obviously it sucked for you guys so much worse. Like it
Well,
was
there was
so
there
much
was
worse
not
for you
only
guys.
the con, but it was also like the pending
The pending Category 5 hurricane that was
hurricane,
gonna. wipe Florida off the map.
the category 5, family emergency, that was keeping us
Absolutely.
from going. Like, geez, like
Absolutely.
the whole.
Well, and like I said, like we had to come back early. Like we couldn't, we came back early just to make sure that everything. Like we battened down the hatches before we left, of course.
Yeah.
But then, when it's a category 5, all of a sudden it's like, oh, I didn't batten down the hatches for a category 5. Like,
When I left, it was Tropical Storm Dorian, not Murder Cannon
Yeah.
Dorian. What the
Yeah,
hell?
not murder death face Dorian. So yeah, I mean, obviously we were concerned about us. We were concerned about you guys. Like if anybody needed help with anything. So we had to come back early too.
Oh, let me tell you a story. My brother, right? He's
Mhm.
the hero of the storm this year. He brought over his impact driver. Like
Mhm.
one of these things you use to put lug nuts on race cars, right? Or like
Yeah.
really just drive things in real hard.
Yeah.
We got the shutters up in like maybe or not my plywood. We
Record
got
time?
Oh my god, it was like an hour. And
Oh, that's awesome.
Irma, I don't know if you saw my Florida fix, but I bought these like 8-foot tall fence slats that were like,
Yeah.
I don't know, probably quarter-inch, half-inch thick, and
Yeah.
I did 2 tap cons in each of those. So it literally would. I did the math, and I figured it would have taken like several hundred pounds of force to rip each of those off. And if the hurricane was going to produce that kind of wind, I'm like, well, then the friggin' house is coming down. So
Yeah.
I figured that was a bit overkill doing that, and that took forever to put up. And oh my god, I just had this image in my mind of like having, just like stress about it, like, oh, this is going to take forever. And that drill, man, that made it so much easier. And my carpal tunnel's so bad, I couldn't like, do really anything like manual with my hands to get this stuff in, because I just start feeling pain in my joints. So having that thing was just absolutely incredible. I mean, that's how old I am. I get happy over wrenches.
I gotta tell you, like honestly, your whole family is just really, like cool people. Every time we talk about them, they just seem like actually care about each other and stuff, and help each other out. So I love that. I love that about your family.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I'm lucky.
yeah, you are very, very lucky.
That's
in that
all I
respect.
have going for me. I have a good family.
I won't get into my issues. So let's hear some more video game news. What you got?
The only thing I have right now, have you heard about this game? It's called Battleborn. I'm sorry.
Oh, speaking of Battleborn. Well,
Wait,
not
you
speaking of
actually have
Battleborn, but-
something? Oh.
Well, hold on. I mean, not actually speaking of Battleborn, but for those who have listened to our first season, when we first started like talking about Overwatch, we started talking about Battleborn being the predecessor to Overwatch, and how it sucked and yada yada yada. So that string of thought bringing us back to Overwatch. Did you see that they are releasing Overwatch now for the Switch?
Oh God, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited about it, except for I know that it's going to be this whole thing where they're allowing it on, like they're going to allow the PC gamers and the PS4 gamers and the Xbox gamers, everybody to play with the Switch players. So basically, buying the game is going to be pointless because I love my Switch. I love my Switch to death. But trying to play any first-person shooter on the Switch is a frigging nightmare. Like even playing Elder Scrolls on the Switch can be a nightmare at times. Like it's not set up for that kind of thing. It's more set up for your, like your Zelda game, your strategy games, your RPGs, like that kind of stuff where you don't have to have this like absolutely, well, I shouldn't say absolutely, but pretty damn close to precision movements to get by. So, and I know that Overwatch you don't have to be as precise if you play like a support and this and the other thing, but again, like if they make it open to the other platforms, it's going to suck
Oh,
terribly.
I can't wait
It's
to
gonna
play with Xbox players. That's gonna make me feel a lot better about myself.
it's going to absolutely be terrible if you're playing on the Switch against people on the other platforms. But if it's strictly for the Switch, I'm all in. Like I'm very excited about that. That's great.
Like they've done before.
So,
They'll have a mixed lobby, and you'll have the option to either play or not play with PC gamers.
as long as you have the option, that should be straight. Because I will not go online and be playing with PC gamers while I'm on my Switch.
So the
We are
reason
wondering, like, why do I keep dying? This makes no sense at all.
he's
This
headshotting
guy's a
me from
hacker.
across the map. He's a hacker.
He's a hack source.
Hmm.
I can't even see across the map, but whatever.
He's cheating.
Some really cool news. I guess Nathan Fillion has been cast as a yet unknown Suicide Squad member in the new James Gunn's Suicide Squad movie. So
Ooh, the provocateur got cast as a director again. Wow.
yeah, well, I mean, he actually got snatched up by DC right after that whole getting fired from Marvel thing. They're
Yeah.
like, yes, please.
For
We'll take one
10-year-old
James.
10-year-old joke that he made.
Exactly. We'll take one James Gunn, please. And how much for one of the Chris's? Can we get one of the Chris's? Just one. Like, we don't need all of them. We can't afford all of them. But can we get just one Chris?
Hmm. We need a new
That's DC
Batman.
right now.
Yeah.
DC's looking at the Marvel menu. They're just like, can we? So you guys are done with Robert Downey Jr., right? Can we have that one?
We need a new Batman, and we think he would be perfect for it.
I'm telling you, like they're probably licking their lips, just waiting for characters to die in the MCU. That when Gamora
Shut
came
up.
back, they were like, God damn it!
We
God
need
damn it.
we need her. Ugh.
I'm waiting for DC to steal Thanos, like the actual character Thanos, like not the actor, but the actual, and he'll be in the Suicide Squad. It's like, wait a minute, this doesn't match up.
Well, I have an
Wasn't he in a
announcement.
different universe?
I have an announcement to make.
Oh,
You ready for this?
I don't know.
We just got joined by the bald bearded bard.
Oh my God, he's back and he's alive. Say word. I know he wasn't worried about no hurricanes, because although I will say that Triple B has to worry about tornadoes where he lives, so that's probably
Ooh.
more devastating. At least we have 2 years to know that the hurricane's coming to us.
Yeah, right. Well,
A
now,
tornado, a tornado is like a spur of the moment thing, right? Is that
yeah.
how it works there, Triple B?
It is.
Hello?
Well,
There
we
he
don't
is.
even know what's gonna come. It just like sucks us to Oz, and then we're done.
Yeah. Which would be kind of cool though, because I'm not a short man, but it would be awesome to hang out with a bunch of munchkins
Ooh.
and just tell them that you're a munchkin. And just be like, yeah, I mean, I ate my vegetables and shit. Like, I did all the stuff I was supposed to do. So
Listen, you're not supposed
that's
to
how it
eat
works.
candy all the time. This stunts
Yeah.
your growth. You guys screwed your lives
Exactly. Damn lollipop guild.
up.
Anyways, they're pushing the candy agenda. All right. Well, hey, since Triple B's on, let's go ahead and put him on the spot since he just got in.
There you go.
So any of that sweet, hot Kickstarter action going on? Oh, Oh, there he
No,
is.
I shut the website down. I don't. We don't do.
oh, uh-oh. Sounds like somebody got in trouble. Did your addiction get a little out of hand there?
No, it has gotten bad, but no. Because we've been moving and such, I haven't had a chance to look at Kickstarter. I have no idea what's going
Oh, okay. Okay, whew, you had me worried there for a second. I was like, are you guys in counseling right now? Like,
Kickstarter
Try-
counseling. It's actually a new Kickstarter that you can
he's actually
fund.
he's actually got to go to rehab. They tried to make me go to rehab.
Yeah.
I said no, no, no.
That's right, and my
Sorry.
wife hasn't even given me our new address yet, so I can't even have them send things to my house from Kickstarter. So
Oh man, she's like, whew, she put the chain on it. The kibosh. That's okay though, because last episode we talked about What was it again? I apologize. Wolverton. I don't know if you've heard about that one. It's not a Kickstarter. It's a indie book though, about a gentleman thief who likes to steal like magical artifacts and occult artifacts and stuff like that and relics, but he absolutely hates magic. So it's got that funny little twist to it. Very interesting read. Let me see here. What did I pick up? Oh, at Dragon Con I picked up a couple of indie books trying to support the indie agenda because again, like I said before, I was not really huge into indie. Like for me, the closest to indie that I really got was Image, Dynamite, Boom. You know those studios. So I wasn't really like a huge indie guy until I got a job as an indie comic book writer. So I picked up a couple of cool ones. I picked up I don't even know how to say this properly. It's basically a story about the Chinese War. It's called Yi Sun Shin. I think I said that right. Warrior and Defender. Um, so that one, it's got some beautiful art to it, and I can't wait to sit down and read that. I have not gotten a chance to read that one yet. And then I picked this one up because I just love the way they described it. It's called Heat, right? And it's like, what if Green Lantern and Spider-Man had a baby, and he was African American? And I was like, okay, you know what? Just on that pitch, I'm buying your book. Like, it doesn't matter if it's good or not. Just on your pitch, I'm buying your book. So, this one actually is a writer and artist. Is the same person. So, Javon O. Stokes is the writer and artist for this one. It looks, I mean, the art is a little cartoony, but I mean, anybody that puts out their own stuff and goes through and can do both, the double threat thing, I gotta applaud them, So I'm gonna definitely check. I'm gonna read those, and I will get back to you guys on the podcast later about how they were. So there we go. We got a little bit of indie stuff going on there. So Triple B, what have you been up to?
Moving, and that's about it. The past week has been like nothing but moving and writing when I can, but
Mostly moving. Yeah, I get that. Speaking of writing, I was talking to Felton here. I told him that I got to meet Jay Sandelin, another one of our Mad Cave Studios family writers, doing
yeah,
Over the
yeah.
Rope. Pretty cool. What was funny though, and I just told the story, so I won't get back into about. I can tell you off the air a little bit, but I actually inadvertently got to meet a writer at the same time that he was talking to up at the bar. Maybe you know who this is, because for some reason my mind went blank when he introduced me. But Paul Jenkins,
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah, Hellblazer and stuff like that, right? Yeah. So I look like a
yeah, yeah.
complete idiot. I look like a complete fool because I was just talking to him like he's just, oh, okay, yeah, nice to meet you. Hey, how's it going? Yada yada. And then later when I sat down
Nice.
to eat my dinner, I was like, oh, god damn it. So, anyways, um, so yeah, let's see. So we talked about. Have you had a chance to see Triple B? Have you seen? Well, I know you've been busy, so asking these questions is kind of asinine. But have you seen any of the Dark Crystal show yet, or Carnival Row?
My wife and I watched Carnival Row, but I have not had a chance to try out.
Okay, so uh, what are your thoughts on Carnival Row?
I fucking loved it. Like we couldn't get
Right,
enough of it. It was crazy.
right.
Like
We binged the hell out of that. 8 episodes, an hour and a
yeah,
half long, and it did not feel like an hour and a half each episode. These are mini movies,
exactly.
and they were fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Orlando Bloom killed it.
Oh, he
So,
did. Like I'm was so surprised about how of an actor he's become watching him for so long.
mm-hmm. Oh, did we lose you, Triple B?
I
Oh, we
think,
might have lost Triple B.
yeah, it was probably After Effects of Dorian.
Yeah, probably. Dorian's on its way out to the Midwest now to take on poor Triple B. Well, and I was just thinking, actually, Felton, about Carnival Row. The the only thing that in retrospect that I think was a missed opportunity was that Dark Asher little creature that they created, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be his like pet for the rest of the series. Like I was like, oh my god, that's adorable. It's like a molefish, some kind of molefish hybrid,
I,
And then he's just like, put it in a jar. I'm like, god damn it, like this could be your pet. Like I thought maybe in the last episode something was going to happen and his little Dark Asher like pet thing was going to come save his life or something, but no, totally missed
I wish
opportunity
they
there.
had done something cooler, like I don't know, literally anything.
Like an owlbear.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, something that could, and then the whole show turns into some weird Pokemon, Dark Aster
Dark
uh,
Ashermon.
Pokemon show where everybody's just got like monsters that they fight with one another.
Gotta create them all. Dark Ashers.
So I'm just gonna get
Sorry.
I'm just gonna download all these Google images of face shots of Cara
Mm-hmm.
D'Evangeline and just set it as my Cara Delevingne and Orlando Bloom, and I'm just gonna, just have that as my scrolling Windows background from now on.
Nice.
Because they were both so amazing in the show.
She has some crazy eyebrows, though, doesn't she?
She's got attack eyebrows.
Right? They're Atari eyebrows.
Well, there was a Doctor Who. That was that one episode with, what's his name? The last Doctor. Oh, my God. Peter Capaldi.
Take your time.
Yeah, and he's talking about, he just changed, and he's like, oh, I have attack eyebrows. She's straight up got attack eyebrows. I mean,
she totally does.
Yeah.
Speaking of doctors, not to go back to Dragon Con again, but David Tennant made his first appearance at Dragon Con while we were there.
Yeah, I heard all about how my brother-in-law got to see him.
Yes, and it was awesome. And they did was it one of those desk chair races? Him and the announcer who I think his name is Tony, the gay announcer that is my absolute favorite.
Best!
I think his name is Tony. My absolute favorite. Not announcer. What do they call him?
He's like a host.
Host, yeah, whatever you call.
Oh
my God, he's my absolute favorite. Every time I see, he was the one that was on The Boys too. So of course that panel was fantastic.
Oh, he's hilarious.
He is my favorite. He just comes out there and he's endearing.
What does that guy do?
Like
I want to know what he does for a job, because he
I have no idea.
He had better be in some kind of comedy or something, because that guy's a riot.
I could see him being like some kind of like musical theater or something like that. And I'm not trying to say that because he's gay. I'm saying it just because I could see he just has that kind of like upbeat personality for that kind of thing. I could definitely see him being like, "Come on, Rose, 5, 6, 7, go," that kind of thing.
When are we going to get the panel with speaking of delightful musical individuals? When are we going to get the panel with John Barrowman and David Tennant at Dragon Con?
Oh my God! Well, I mean, they've had those panels in like MegaCon and stuff like that. We just missed them.
Yeah.
Oh, I think Triple B's back. Triple B, are you with us again?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, wow,
yeah,
you sound
can
great.
Hear you now. Yep.
Are we better? All right.
Oh yeah, you sound fantastic.
Well, thank you.
Wow, get that sexy voice now. Like I feel like I feel like I need to drop my voice down a little bit.
Did I miss out on all of the Carnival Road talk? Because
you did, but if you've got something to add, by all means,
totally talk about it
now.
again. I mean,
yeah, I'll talk about it all episode.
I felt bad mentioning her eyebrows, but I came in on the just ass end of that, and you're absolutely right about the eyebrows. She's got
attack eyebrows.
Attack eyebrows.
Oh, I don't mean that as a negative thing. I mean, she's I don't know if conventionally attractive is a word, but I mean, she's an attractive woman, and
sure,
I don't find like
her... she's a model, right?
Oh, really? Well, okay.
She was a model before all this, so.
No, I can see that now. Yeah. Because she's got the faces down, dude.
Yeah, they're trying to put her on that track because what's her name from Fifth Element, everything like that. Resident Evil. Lilu Multipass.
No, God, what the hell is her name?
All right, come on. You know what the worst part is? That people listening to our podcasts are just like, God, it's this person. God damn it!
Exactly,
like,
yeah, that's the
research your crap before you get on here.
Mila Jovovich. I always want to call her like Lilu Sobolyeski.
Yeah, Lilu Multipass. That's her real name.
What happened to that girl?
She was just in the terrible Hellboy movie. That's what happened to her. She did a really crappy movie just recently.
Wasn't she in all of the...
Lily Sobieski.
Who?
Lily Sobieski. For some reason, I always want to call Mila Jovovich that name.
I mean, I guess you just make up whatever names you want. Just do what you want. But the rest of us felt didn't have to call people by their real names, like their surnames and their God-given names. But I mean, you do what you want. I mean, I'm over here, Paul Giamatti, Paul Giovanni,
Paul Giamatti, Paul Giovanni,
Paul Giovanni,
Mila Jovovich.
Yeah, you weren't there for that, Triple B, but this happens a lot actually. I will vehemently argue with Felton that something is some way, whether it's a name, a story, a place, the sky, an actual element in reality, and I will be completely wrong, and then we will make fun of me for it for pretty much eternity. So I was wrong on two accounts actually with this one because I was wrong about the name of the movie and the name of the actor in the movie. We were talking about now. Is it just called Bang or is it not even called Bang? What's the name of the movie now? See, now I can't even remember.
It's Shoot 'em Up.
Shoot 'em up. That's what. Well,
Oh, yeah.
okay. See, there you go. I already screwed it up. So but in my defense, for I guess the pictures, the posters for it, I swear to God, it said like Bang Bang, with the exclamation points, and then Shoot 'em up, and I just figured that was the whole title of the movie, kind of like Die Hard with Die Hard 2, Die Harder, isn't the actual name of the movie. It's actually just called Die Hard 2, and the tagline is Die Harder. Right?
Oh man, I love
So-
Die Harder. That's my favorite of the Die Hard movies.
That's what I'm saying. But so with this movie poster, I thought that was the name, the full name of the movie, which I thought was hilarious. But Paul, however you say his last name, because I'm not even gonna sit here and try to justify what I was calling him, is in that movie, right? And I was calling him like Paul Giamatti,
Paul Giambanco,
whatever.
like-
Yeah, whatever it was, and and Felton's like, oh, do you mean, okay, what's his proper name?
Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti. He's like, did you mean Paul Giamatti? I'm like, no, Paul Giovanni. And he's like, there is no Paul Giovanni. Well, at least not in acting. I mean, there could be somebody out in the world called Paul Giovanni, but it's not the actor. And I was like, yeah, he's in that movie, Bang Bang Shoot 'em Up. And he's like, you mean Shoot 'em Up? And I was like, no, the movie with the guy who gets the carrot and he's killing everybody with the carrot, like Bang Bang Shoot 'em Up. He's like, it's just called Shoot 'em Up. I'm like, no. And then of course, the internet had to put me in my
Right.
place again, as
No.
per usual.
So Paul Giovanni was a American playwright, actor, director, singer, and musician. Okay.
hmm
He wrote. He wrote the album The Wicker Man.
Who are you talking about now?
Paul Giovanni.
Oh, so there is a Paul Giovanni in Hollywood. It's just not it's not the one I was talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes you feel a little bit. So yeah, the guy that wrote The Wicker Man, who was in Bang Bang Shoot 'em Up.
Yeah. You know.
I mean, it makes sense, right?
Oh no, The
Was
Wicker
it-
Man,
oh.
the movie, the original soundtrack of the original Wicker Man film. Oh my God.
Oh, so not even the one with Nicolas Cage then, huh?
No. That's neat.
Oh man, I suck at life sometimes. Just terribly suck at life sometimes. Where are we at time wise here, Felton?
We're at 32, 47, 48.
Okay. I think it's time to roll some die, and since Bald Bearded Bard wasn't able to be in the last episode, I think he should roll the die. So, Triple B, who would you like to roll a die to add or subtract or do nothing with to your die?
Let's go with Felton.
Felton, you're up.
Okay.
Get that computer app out.
All right, I rolled and it's a 9.
A 9. All right, Felton, are you going to add, subtract, or do nothing with that to Triple B's roll?
I'm gonna add it.
Going to add it. All right. Triple B, roll that die.
All right. Got
And
it
actually,
here.
while he's rolling that die real quick, let me just, I know that we're going a little long this time, but that's okay. We can go long sometimes. I've been introducing Dee to some of my favorite movies from the 80s. And this only comes to mind because I was doing like the game show kind of voice. But I introduced her to The Running Man, and I really don't think she dug that one. Foxtail was not about that life. And I can understand because that movie is cheesy as hell, but it's one of my absolute favorite movies from the 80s. It's actually probably my second or third favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie of all time. But
I'm gonna have to
anyways.
say I really like True Lies as far as Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, and
I do love True Lies.
What's the name of that Mars movie?
Oh, Total Recall.
Total Recall. Thank you. Oh my God.
Yes, that's another fantastic movie with Arnold. But man, Running Man just has a special place in my heart. Only because now we're getting into the long story, but that's okay. So when I was a kid, I had a sleepover with a friend, and he was telling me about this movie, The Running Man. Because it obviously came out before we were born, or maybe it was like while we were like really really young. And I'm like, what is The Running Man? He's like, well, it's got Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. I'm like, okay, I'm in. Arnold Schwarzenegger, got it. And he's like, it's a game show. I'm like, okay, not so into it. It's a game show. Okay. And now, mind you, we're in my waterbed while he's telling me about this because, I really ruled as a kid. And he's like, yeah, well, it's this game show where these people are, they have to fight other people in the game show. I'm like, oh, so it's like Gladiator. And he's like, yeah, but imagine if in Gladiator you could kill the other opponent. That's what this movie's about. And I was like, wait, so it's American Gladiator, but you can kill the other opponent? I'm totally in. So I had to see this movie. And it took a lot of convincing because it's a rated R movie. So it took a lot of convincing for me to finally get my chance to watch this movie. And when I did, I just sopped it up. I was like, this movie is amazing. Greatest thing ever. But anyways, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What did you roll, Triple B?
5.
5 plus 9 is definitely not 20, and it's definitely not 1. So nothing happens this podcast. I guess we can shut it down now. I hope you guys had a safe Dorian adventure for anybody living in Florida. And I hope that no tornadoes attack you while you're out there doing your thing, Triple B, because like I said, like tornadoes, you get no warning. Like hurricanes, they tell us like 2 years in advance, so at least we have time to do stuff. But for now, we'll go ahead and shut this podcast down. I'm the Merce.
It's Felton.
And Triple B.
And we'll catch you guys on the next one.